Hello friends, how are you all? Well, I'm down here in the dining room and I have made a real mess of my dining room table. I don't think that's such a surprising thing, is it? Are you like me where if you're working, you have to have like everything you need, of course. You need it all where you're working and it looks terrible. I remember when I was working full time, I was doing I was a billing clerk specialist, a medical billing specialist. And the doctors would bring me in sheets and sheets of OR reports and papers that I would use for billing. And so I had stacks of paper everywhere. And when I worked, there was not a surface on my desk that wasn't covered. Even sometimes the phone was buried. But I actually knew what everything was. I was totally organized in my mess. And at the end of the day, it was all gone. And this is how I work with my crafting too. Like when I work, I have absolutely everything here. It's all over, but don't you dare touch my piles because I know exactly where everything is. So I'm going to show you my hot mess here. And I know a lot of you are going to say, yep, that's about how it goes. So here, let me show you my mess. So is this scary? This isn't too scary, is it? I mean, here's pieces of fabric, ribbon, thread, a bucket of more, and then a little bit more over here. It's not that scary, really. I mean, I could sweep it all into a bucket in a second and it'd be gone. But I do know my threads are all here. See, they're all here. It's all organized. And then all the fabric and stuff is there. My working surface is here. Scissors are here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, I think it's very organized. So I guess maybe I should show you what I'm doing. I have this little bag here. Show you what's in it. Of pieces of batting, or some of you call it wadding. And every time I make something, I throw whatever little pieces I have in this bag. And I keep thinking I gotta do something with this stuff. So I am making some Easter gifts. These are not done yet. I'm making some bookmarks to give away as Easter gifts. And I wanted something small that I could mail easily because they're all going to be mailed. And I thought, well, I have all this stuff, all these little pieces of fabric and, trims, all this good stuff. Why don't I just pull out that bag over there and pull out some of this stuff over here and do something like this? So I have been making bookmarks. This is I've just done the top. I haven't put the backing on. I'm going to put a backing on, just maybe a color, one of these colors, maybe this pink or something. And then I'm going to just blanket stitch around. So here's one that is ready for the backing. And they're turning out so pretty. I love them. And I know the people that I'm giving them to are going to love them. So there's one. This one. Oops, I'm collecting some threads here. Hold on. There we go. This one is some blue one. Aren't they nice? I think they're really nice. And I think it's great for using up these tiny little scraps. And this one here is, I'm just working on this one. This one is going to be for my son. I've got these little things I'm going to put on, but I just started putting them on. I think they're going to be really good. That doesn't belong there. Just stuck on the thread. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I've got 3 that I've done the stitching on, and then I've got this one is just tacked down. See, it's just a piece of batting with some fabric pieces. I just did the invisible based on there, and now I'm just gonna slow stitch them. I'm only using running stitch. I'm not doing, well, I did a little bit of fancy stuff, but I'm not doing much fancy stuff. There's not a whole lot of room. And then here's another pink one that's ready to be stitched. Just, yeah. And then this one. So I've got 6 on the go. And I think I might just do a few more while I'm at it. I mean, I did these 2 in one afternoon. This one I did yesterday, but I had company yesterday, so I didn't get it finished. But, and these ones, I mean, I can put these together while I'm watching TV. It's so simple. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything more strenuous than that because my arm is still really bad. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, I've self-diagnosed myself. I do have an appointment next week with my doctor, but I'm pretty sure I have a frozen shoulder. I'm almost 100% sure. And I'm that sure because I was warned about this years ago when I had my mastectomy. I was warned about the frozen shoulder thing, and I think I had completely forgot because it never happened. And I think it's happened now. So if it is a frozen shoulder, I have to learn to live with this for quite a long time. Those take a long time to right themselves. It could take up to 2 years. And there is no way that I am going to sit on my hands for 2 years and not do anything. So yesterday I had a hot pad on my shoulder, and I had done 1 hour of the decompression thing for lymphedema, which is also in that same arm. It's kind of a double whammy. And I was so angry with this part of my life where I can't do what I want to do because gardening season's coming up and stitching, and I have some knitting projects, and I have so many things that I wanted to do. And I said to Gary, I haven't gotten this far. I've had 2 cancers already. I haven't gotten this far by quitting or giving up or giving in. And I'm not giving in to this shoulder. I just refuse to do it. So I allow myself fun times where I can sit here and do what I have to do. And I sort of time myself. Well, you know, that's kind of a loose statement. I don't time myself. I sit here until I think, okay, Dale, you know, you've been at it an hour, stop. And then I go and I do something else. But I can't even play the piano. I was thinking that maybe I could just, because the piano has always been something that calmed me down. If I got myself wound up about something, you know, or was worried or things like that, I could sit down and I could just zone out and play. But I can't do that. That is something that really hurts the arm. So anyway, this is what I've been doing. I haven't been doing anything more strenuous than this. And yesterday, my cousins came for a visit, and they brought me some straw bales. Oh, why am I talking? Why do I have the camera like this? Let's flip this back to so that you can look at me. Hold on. Not that you want to look at me, but let's hold on. So they came yesterday and they brought me a couple of straw bales. And so zip right out after they left, my mind is on gardening and starting plants and all that kind of thing. And that's a pick-me-up for me, just sure as anything. So, you know, as I'm sitting here doing this, I'm planting gardens, I'm doing all kinds of things in my mind, and I'm better. Even though I have some pain, I'm better. And I think for me, that's why I do so much of what I do, is because it's a way to forget about yourself for a while. And we all have to forget about ourselves for a while, don't we? I mean, it's a good thing to have your hands busy. And I think for me, it's something that I have to do just to get through the day. I have to do something. So I'm making these little bookmarks, and I decided one of them, maybe this one. or maybe this one, are going to go in that little pouch that I'm giving away. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, my last video, I announced a giveaway, and I don't put it in the title because that's a sure way for all these pesky people, the bad people, the trolls and those kind of things to start bothering you. So I didn't hide it. I don't intend to hide that kind of thing, but I don't put it on the description, or I don't put it on the title, because that just announces to wrong people what you're doing. So if you're new and you don't know what I'm talking about, the giveaway, I'm giving away a little pouch, and I don't have it here, it's upstairs. And it's a Slowstitch pouch, and you have to put a comment on my last video, not this one. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm having fun doing it, and I think these are going to make really nice little gifts. I'm just giving them to people who I know are readers and who are going to use them. And I might make a few extra just to have on hand in case, you know, I want to give somebody something. I will give one of these. But I also want to make a new needle book, because I bought myself some new embroidery needles. I don't have them down here either. Right now, I have everything just like this. And I went through my needles in one day of desperation for something to do. I have a lot of needles, and I have a lot of old needle books as well. And I've done a video on some of the old ones. They're like back from the 30s and 40s. They're paper needle books. But the needles they're beautiful needles. They're really good needles. But some of them are missing, obviously, and they're not sort of organized in the use that you would use them for. So I have pulled out a lot of the needles, and these are sewing needles and stitching needles, and there might even be a darning needle in here. But I want to make a needle book just for the Slowstitch and embroidery type needles. And then, because I have one that's got for cross stitch, and I think that's just kind of wise, and I'm not mixing things up, because I do find it a bit frustrating when you go to reach for a needle and you have to kind of think, oh, what's this one for, you know. It'd be much nicer to have them a little bit more organized. And I do have all my darning needles in another case, and I keep that with my wool and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm just putzing along here, doing my little thing, looking out at the snow. Yes, we have snow. Do you want to see the snow? Here, I'm going to turn you around. You can see the snow. There you go. This is life in Manitoba, Canada. We do have maybe more snow than some other areas. We've had some good dumps of snow. See that nice pile across the street here? Look at that. Yeah, so it's not looking like spring. I've been tormenting myself quite a bit watching some of the UK people doing work in their gardens already, and then I have to turn it off because it's just too upsetting. I want to be there, but we will be there. We actually had no snow. The snow had all gone, and then we've had 2 storms, and we are due another storm next week as well, where I think we're supposed to get another 30 centimeters of snow. So this is spring, and March hasn't even hit yet. March is the bad month for snow. That's the month that the temperatures warm up pretty well, but we get a lot of storms. And I remember when I was a kid, now I'm going to flip you back again. March the 4th, 1964. I will remember it forever. We had a snowstorm. I was living in Winnipeg. I was just a kid. And the storm hit overnight. Well, I think it started in the evening, and it hit overnight. And my brother, my older brother, he's 9 years older than me, and he had a snowmobile at the time, and not many people had them, and you weren't really supposed to have them in the city, but he did. And he went out with his friends. They were out just outside of town on the snowmobile, and this storm hit, and it stopped the city. I think there was, I can't remember. It wasn't even in centimeters. It was in feet. But it was a crazy amount of snow, and then a blizzard, which is the wind, kicked in. And he couldn't get home. He wasn't home for 2 days. The police actually stopped him and his friends, because they all had snowmobiles, and put them into service, transporting people to hospital. There was, like, he was taking women in labor to the hospitals. There was we had a big department store downtown, Eaton's, and people were stranded from downtown who couldn't get home from work. So Eaton's opened up the doors. They fed them. They were sleeping on the beds. It was like 2 days, and we couldn't get out of our house. Both doors, the snow had covered the doors, and we couldn't push it. It was so packed in. We had to wait till Norman came home, and he shoveled us out. And I remember, like a couple days after the storm, us kids went out, and we could walk up onto the roof of our house on a snowbank that had just gone right over the house. It was something else. I don't want anything like that. No. And I don't know that we've ever had anything quite that big. We've had some big storms, but I don't think we've ever had anything that big. And of course, back then, they didn't have the equipment to do the cleaning that they have now. I mean, now they're out already. The storm hasn't even really started, and they're out, and they keep it going. So it doesn't shut anything down, really. Although out here where we live in the country, the roads do close if they're icy or the visibility is bad. They do shut the highways down because they don't want school buses and people on the roads. But life goes on. People go to school. People go to work. It's snow. It's, Anyway, I don't even know why I'm waffling on like this today. So I am going to go back to working on these little things. And yeah, the draw for the pouch will be March the 3rd, Sunday, March 3rd. And I will announce the winner on that video. So good luck, everybody. I've had quite a few good comments, and anybody who leaves a comment will be in the draw. So that's what's going on here. Nothing super, super exciting. Although when my cousins were here yesterday, my cousin and I went upstairs, and she's a crafter and a knitter, and she's a really good quilter. Hi, Debbie. And we were talking about different projects and stuff, and I got out a book, a crochet book, a crochet Afghan book. And I was flipping through it, and I actually saw something in there. I thought, oh, I remember I wanted to do this, but I still haven't finished that other knitting Afghan. Well, I've got 2 knitting Afghans on the go. I haven't done them yet, so I cannot start any more Afghans, blankets, or anything like that until I finish the ones that I've got started. I'm being very tough on myself because I don't want to have all these unfinished projects anymore. I've done that for so many years, where I've had so many unfinished projects in the house, and I'm trying to stop that kind of activity. Now that I'm all grown up, I think it's time for me to smarten up. But I do need to start some socks. That I do need to start, because there are some birthdays coming up that I want to give socks for. And another cousin who has been trying so long and so hard to learn how to knit socks, she contacted me, and she said, I'm sending you all my sock yarn, all the needles, all the patterns to you. She said, there's even something on the needles. She says, I can't do it. I'm done trying. I'm not gonna do it. And I'm sad, because I think she would have enjoyed it but she's been trying for a long time, and it's, I guess sometimes things just aren't for everybody. It took me a long time to get into socks too, and now that I'm making them, I can't quit making them. But I promised her, I know she's sending this stuff, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit up her yarn in socks and send the socks back to her, because stock yarn isn't cheap. And if she's put out that money, she should have something to show for it. So I will knit her socks and I will send them back. And I'll keep the needles, I guess. Anyway, so that's what's going on at Erndale's. We are looking at snow and doing some stitching, and yeah, life goes on. Thinking of spring and thinking of days without pain. It'll come one of these days. But until then, we lose our earbuds. Yeah, the good things will come. We'll just have to be a little bit more patient and just continue on. So happy stitching, happy knitting, whatever you're working on. So have a good week, everybody, and I will see you on the 3rd of March with a winner for the draw on the pouch and a bookmark. Good luck, everybody. See you soon. Bye for now.